Mike Gill and Crash. We're here
Hello.
again.
Hi.
Isn't it interesting? Audit the auditors. Didn't we tell you that just last podcast?
Yep.
Audit the auditors. Remember, for all these years, what did I say? The path, the real path, the only path to win is find their money. You audit them. So are we seeing the audits? Department of Government Efficiency, the
Doge.
DOGE?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But from the bottom now, we're going up. Now, where do they stop? Or who do they stop? But again, it was the auditors. And now it's Trump and Musk auditing or saying they're going to audit the IRS. That's exactly who you got to audit, and the Treasury. Who did I go after? The IRS and the Treasury. What did I tell you for these 13 years after the settlement? Audit who audits. The laundering network was the IRS. The banking department and the commissioner of the department, the Department of Revenue, all audits on a state and federal level. Okay. Now we're getting a pretty good handle on that's exactly where they're going. Now I'm saying they're going from the bottom up. I have the laundering network. Follow the trillion into the state. And we're going to show you that too. And we're going to show you how to set them up. But what we're seeing now is movement. Now, how do we interpret that movement? Because they're showing us, hey, we're winning. I'm awful careful when we start winning. I look around and go, all right, something's up.
Something's
Something's
wrong.
going to hit us on the head. So I see all the winning. I even think that Trump said, there's so much winning. Well, no one went to jail yet now, did they?
Not
And
yet.
people got laid off because the country's going broke because they stole everything, like I was saying. That's why you find the money. That's why you go and you take their assets. You take their assets, everything, and you pay your bills. So let's keep going. Ready? Now, first, I'd like to start by saying we have a post from Tate, the Tate brothers. A friend of mine sent this to me the other day, and I took slight exception. You ready? I can't read that too clear, but what they're saying is, right? Oh, here it is. They've offered me 50 million to sell out, and I said no. Everyone's a tough guy on Twitter. Ain't that the truth? But when the money comes and then the threats come, well, you guys have read all the threats. And you know what I said then? To go F yourself and think about this. All of what was done. This guy's still living in a life of luxury. I'm going to tell you something. I've got to worry about getting snuffed every week. Let me see. When the money comes, trust me. Trust me when the money comes, ready? I had hundreds of millions. Not only did I turn their money down, I knew I'd lose mine. Everyone caves except the Tates. Oh, and a guy named Gill. Somebody said big balls somewhere, and I knew it was me. In fact, if we get big balls and 100 of these high IQ, Elon Musk handpicked auditors, you put me in charge. And if you don't think I'm a genius, you figure out what I've done and how I've done it my whole life. And here we are with a shot that I built. Now put me in charge of 100 of those geniuses, and we'll challenge the Klingons for external for world domination.
I
All
think
right.
we need to. I think we need to make that a challenge. We need to see that.
Yeah. Put me on the team. I'll whip these little bastards into shape. We'll put everybody in jail because everybody gets a little scared when you knock on the door of the FBI and the DOJ and the cartel. All right. So where's the move now? Audit the auditors, the IRS. So when we put this down, this was the next move, and this is what we heard from our last podcast. Okay. So with the next one. So Trump and Elon is going after what protects. Remember now, ready? The Department of Justice, what makes them dangerous? It's because they sell protection. The IRS is that protection of money laundering. Who's going to audit you? They're the ones that are the most corrupt. Okay, hit it. Now we've got Musk and Trump saying the IRS. Now, let's look at it this way. Would they audit you? In fact, they were hiring 87,000 people armed to audit you. Audit the IRS comes after users overwhelmingly voted. Overwhelmingly? Well, how about this? There it is with the IRS. Who takes your money is the money laundering network because they have to protect themselves. When I caught the IRS, right? They offered me 50 million. Who covered it up? The Treasury. Who collects the money for the Treasury? The IRS. They're in on it too. And we only recorded the Inspector General of the United States. And who got that evidence? U.S. Attorney Mullen, who gave it to the Attorney General Sessions and Barr. Important? It was the moment of this laundering network, a path in. Okay, Kash.
So we have, you're talking about I'm off on my numbers here. So we're doing your laundry.
Yeah, we can do, well, they're doing the laundry. It's
Is
the
that
thing
the
with,
one? Is that the one that I have them mixed up?
yeah, those in order be fine. Okay. Now, this was before the 20 election. I went to the Department of Justice. I tried to get the President Trump this information. Meet the money laundering network for the deep state, the IRS. Now, what have I told you that hasn't come true? You have not seen the IRS. You have not seen the corruption in our state. You know why all this government's corrupt? Because pay for play, they give them jobs. They're not qualified, their jobs. They don't even show up for the jobs. That's what it is. And it's the same thing with the IRS. And if you stay out of line, they target you. But they are the money laundering network. Why do you think they're being audited? Not just for the employees, but for the protection that they sell. You can't steal trillions without the IRS and the Treasury being in on it. Okay, hit it, Kash. So in other words, you know that that's what we were doing. I was telling you, I was warning you. Not only do I turn down the 50 million, you understand how important that settlement was? Nobody turns it down, which is why it was in writing. Beyond that, they were always coming to me, always offering settlement, but they knew they couldn't have me tell you, which is exactly the same reason why they're not speaking to me. Listen, you don't think they all know who the hell I am? They're using my evidence. Well, let's see the $50 million settlement. Who's on it? The IRS, the banking department, the banking commissioner, the Department of Revenue. Remember, all that audits wanted to pay me 50 million. That's Fate and Stederal. You see the banking commission? That's your LLCs. Those are your trust companies. They don't audit you. You own a bank, they don't audit you. That was Jerry Little. That was the setup on Sununu. This is the Pandora's box. This is a path, not just for one state, but for the country. That trillion came from around the world. The darkest child traffickers, cartels around the world. They're buying assets in our country. That's how it's done.
I think a lot of people think that this just is New Hampshire.
Is what?
Just New Hampshire. I mean,
right.
Like you just said, this is the country. It leads to everything out in the country.
Think of it this, that portal has to be protected. I mean, it is a sentinel to hell. If you break through that, you open the door to all of them.
Right.
All their secret, all their assets. And I'm telling you what you're going to see and what I'm telling you now. We are at that sentinel. They are using the key people, the right people to block us. We've got Sununu, who turned around, was behind the brokered convention, which is why you can't hear the tape. How did I tell you I knew it? By following Sununu. Who was Sununu behind? Nikki Haley. For a lot longer than anybody thought that she was out of the race. Why? Between the courts, the brokered convention, and I don't know, maybe even an assassination, which happened days later. But who would have benefited it? Haley would have been the Republican candidate and Sununu would have been the VP. That's the Bush family, and that's the military-industrial complex. That's who I was sitting across the table from. That's who they are. And that's who I intercepted. And we are at that door. Whatever you audit, whether it be the IRS, would it be police, all of it, and everybody, I would audit every senator, every congressman. Audit. Judges, you're next. Governors, you're next. Listen, this country, we have too many people guilty of treason in important spots. If they can't take an oath to this country and turn around and show us exactly all their assets, so we know for sure that they can be trusted, I bet you don't have two people in the Senate. And listen, this Democrat and Republican bullshit, the Republicans are corrupt as much as the Democrats. They all steal. Did you see any one of them turning themselves in? Menendez went to jail, the Republican governor, senator, a Democratic senator from New Jersey, for working with the Egyptians, 11 years, gold bars. They're all doing that shit. Audit them all. They gave you him low-hanging fruit. I told you about that, right, Script?
Yeah, Script. Did you just call me Script?
No, I'm talking Script Keeper. He's
Oh,
listening.
okay.
No. No, I call you in the Matrix. No, but I want him. But see, that's what we're doing.
Low-hanging fruit.
That's why they're all sweating. Have you noticed we're seeing faces suddenly? Have you noticed they all found Jesus or got baptized? Listen, it's still Flynn and it's still CIA. All right, hit it, Crash.
Okay.
No. He goes, he's losing it now. Okay. So, remember the people to watch and what they're doing? By opening what is the network, is the Pandora box, as the Pandora Papers tracked $1 trillion to. So what do we do here now? Now we've got audits. Our boy Sununu. Let's not forget, I ran against Sununu at 16. I know exactly who he is. That is the Bush. This guy owned gold mines, copper mines in Colombia. He owns a ski resort in New Hampshire that was financed by terrorists. Listen, Google, it's on Breitbart, front page. So that's who he is. Now listen, now we know who's worked harder to throw Trump in jail. Impeachment. Didn't he come out and said all the prisoners, J6, should remain in jail to fill their sentence? That's Sununu. Did we not go after Trump with Nikki Haley? Right, that's Sununu. And suddenly, the fat face is with Anderson Cooper on CNN. What? Right, defending Trump in the audits.
Yeah, he's for Trump, and he's the second one on the left. In case people don't know who's who there.
You would have known him. He would have been the VP, and it would have been him and the Bushes that managed to take out Trump.
Right.
That's who that is, and that's why he's getting real sweet now, right? All right. So in other words, and then later, right? Anderson Cooper apologized. He got upset. I've never seen something staged as much as this. Anderson Cooper, he's upset, and Sununu defending Trump. Well, we all lost our minds. Listen, I had this bastard in 18 with Pence and the Granite State Recovery Center meeting, and they saved his ass again. And now he's in that position again. So we get to watch what we see here and what happens. Remember, Flynn, Sununu, Ayotte. Remember those three names. If any one of them don't get arrested, it's bullshit. If anyone don't get busted, it's bullshit. Now that's Sununu doing a little performance on CNN before he goes to his copper mines in Colombia, kissing the ring and walking out the door. Now, if he made a deal to make that move, or is he kissing the ring to make a deal? I don't like it. This guy's got to go. He is the gatekeeper to the Pandora's box. That is the Bush family. And before that, it was Shaheen, and that's the Clintons. Okay,
And
hit.
that's what I was going to say. I don't know if people understand the connections. Bush was behind Sununu.
And Bush and Sununu's daddy was the chief of staff for George Bush Sr. Okay?
Right. And Sununu is blocking the opening of this Pandora box, basically. Right. Yeah.
And they used my evidence to take the laundering network from Shaheen, who was Hillary Clinton's campaign manager. It's the Clintons. So we've got as close as you can get to the Clintons and the Bushes, and they had to hide their money somewhere. Maybe the banking department who just got in, Jerry Little, goes, hey, I trust it. You don't have to audit. How's that? So the IRS, they own it.
With Sununu being, pro-Trump all of a sudden, it's a little shady, is what you're saying.
You think?
Yeah.
How about this? You couldn't have picked somebody that targeted Trump more than Jack Smith, than Sununu.
Right.
Sununu and Jack Smith. Sununu knew that if Trump got in, he could be in trouble. And he is in trouble, and I don't want to see him go. And if this is how he's leaving, then we got a problem, and we've been sold out. And I'll tell you, like I said it all the way, and I ain't changing shit. Think about this. All the players before, all the years I've been doing it, isn't it funny they're all in play? 8 years ago when I'm saying doing the laundry with these assholes and they're transferring the powers, you didn't know any of the players. Well, they're in play now, aren't they? All right, hit it, Crash.
Okay,
do I have doing the laundry next?
Yeah, before I hit it, I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
That another thing people don't understand is you personally, no one else in this whole podcast world or anybody on X that, the bigger people have dealt with these people, but you have dealt with these people. So
face up, face to face. I ran against Sununu. Bill Shaheen was my lawyer. I know these bastards. You know what happened? Hey, they'll know you too. You ready? I'll tell you the secret, how you get known with those bastards. Get rich.
Yeah.
Make a lot of money.
Some of these podcasters are.
Right. They find you.
Right.
You're their best buddy. Right. That's how it works. And then all of a sudden they see you and they go, boy, this bastard could be trouble. And they were right. Now, Sununu, right? Now he's telling you, audit. Well, here you can go on State of Corruption and watch this video. Incredibly important, maybe even historical as shit rolls out or doesn't. Doing the laundry. I go to the banking. This is the executive committee voting in the new banking commissioner, Jerry Little. Now, Little wasn't even in banking. He worked as a press secretary for Sununu's daddy. But before he got into becoming, and he became the banking commissioner, he wrote a bill as a state senator saying, if you trust the entity, you don't have to audit. So every single cartel, a child trafficker around this world, park their money where you don't have to audit. And it was all because of that meeting and that moment. And you hear me call out Sununu. You hear me call out Pappas next to him as a member of the cartel. And that this is money laundering and protecting it. They're protecting the assets in the banking department. So they're auditing your properties. They're auditing your businesses. They're auditing your corporations. Now you think about this. If they corrupted that, knowing that the IRS could pick it up on the back end, why are they committing all this corruption, knowing they go to jail, except for they work for the IRS, and that's the other end of the laundering network, and nobody goes to jail but you. Now, you can go and see this video. Now, remember that guy who was getting nominated? It was put in, right? And I told him to his face he was a crook. Well, I went to his office too again. And again, the audit and the leverage against me. I told him I was putting him in jail. Two of those people in the back came from the AG's office. You get it? What did I say to him? Oh, you're not going to have to audit what? Cartels? That's the plan. That's how they control all that's corrupted. And you'll see me go to the Secretary of State. What did I say to him? Someone give you a job? Someone give you a job? Are you getting to understand all these layoffs? They were given jobs, no show jobs. It's just like the mafia gives you a no show job, so does your government. That's what they're all doing. That's what they all know. Okay, hit it, Crash. But this is a witness. He resigned, Little, when they announced the Pandora Papers. You know who else did? Gardner, the Secretary of State, the guy covering up the assets, and the guy also money laundering with the assets, covering it, trusts, and so forth. They work together. They're both out. Isn't that coincidence? And let's not forget, the trillion only came in New Hampshire after I gave you the laundering network.
What was his name? Gardner.
Secretary of State Gardner.
Yeah. Okay.
I used to call him Chauncey Gardner. I don't know if you ever seen that movie, but it was
No.
a little like that. Oh, you'll see me I say, somebody give you a job. These guys aren't the brightest. They follow orders. Okay, Krish. But now, remember now, in doing the laundry, that's Sununu saying, we don't need no audit. All of a sudden now with President Trump, hey, let's audit him. Okay, this is going to get good. Going to get good. Now, ready? Who was protecting the cartel and the money laundering network as I was at 16 on 2016 confronting him? Who was protecting him before that? Kelly Ayotte, the AG of New Hampshire, and then to senator. See, that's the payoff. She covered up for the cartels, and she blocked the Pandora's box of the money laundering network through the AG's office, which controls the attorneys. Now, think about this. Right now, I believe there's 19 states trying to block Trump in the audits. All Democratic states, but 19 through the AG's office. That's the corruption in our states. From our government to our states, it's still the AG's office is still the courts. All those, you see me in court against these judges. If you Google the judges, you'll see that they all come from the AG's office. Richard Tracy, assistant AG, right. AG's office, McLean. Where did Ayotte come from? McLean. Delaney come from? Foster, the AG's. McLean, who represents the cartel, you pinheads. They get paid. Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I should be teaching kindergarten.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't know. All right. But see, hit it, Crash.
Well, the next thing's the clip. So do you want me to?
Here we got with Ayotte now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. They get me a little excited. Now,
Yeah. Take a breath.
All right. Now, Ayotte, now the governor. And listen, you know who the governor was before? Hassan, your senator. Oh, well, who else? Oh, Shaheen. Oh, and a guy named Benson you're going to meet in a minute. Isn't that funny? Governor of the state of corruption. That's what you got. Okay, so we've got Ayotte meeting with the Lawrence mayor. They're going to stop fentanyl. I go, what? I gave you the cartel. You protected them. Wait a minute. You're going to get them? You're going to get them. The Lawrence mayor, who is owned by the cartel. I mean, this is insane. The whole Lawrence Police Department, but one guy who was my informant for over 3 years. And I gave it to you. And remember, I gave it to the DEA. You've seen me give it to the DA. You've seen me say, and on the thing say, it's routes from Lawrence, it's routes. I had a factory in Boston, gave it to the DEA, and we only got the largest seizure in history. So how do we corrupt an audit? By owning the auditor. How about this? Ayotte, who protects the cartel, is looking for the cartel in fentanyl. It's beautiful, which is why nobody goes to jail. It's their methodology. They're plugged in. But these are people they would never use. These are people that would have buffers. You don't sell the Bill Shaheens and the Ayottes. They stand back where it's safe and they pull the thing. You know what it means to me? They're in trouble. Sununu's in trouble. Ayotte's in trouble. And you're damn right they should be in trouble. But they're scared. So Ayotte's they're working with the mayor of Lawrence to get the fentanyl, and they're talking about the roots. Okay, Crash, we're gonna now this video podcast. Mike Gill delivers the evidence to the DEA again. Now, I want you to hear this. This is a small clip, but that's historical too. It's only the largest fentanyl bust in history, and it came out of the sleepy town of Bedford, and the boxes were marked. And who is the head of the cartel? Where's he from? Oh, that's right, Bedford. And what does he own? Hospitals and treatment centers? Right. That's where it came from. Okay, hit it, Crash.
Okay, I just want to say he did touch on it. This is called, I can't show the video, I have to play audio. It's Gill delivers criminal evidence to the DEA again, if you go on his YouTube. And this is only 20 seconds, but I'm going to play, hopefully it goes through here.
But it might have cost them about, I don't know, 50 million, billion.
Sold out of the Elliott Hospital. Did you know that? Yeah. The people who own the whole treatment center are the drug dealers. The only thing I asked.
Did it talk about the
roots?
I'm not sure if it talked about the roots because that was only.
Oh, it would go on to the roots. If you don't have it,
well,
okay,
I thought I did have
but
it.
But if people play it, I heard it when you sent it to me.
Okay, well, I couldn't hear that.
It's okay. All right, it's all right. But when you listen to it, people, do you listen to the video? All of what they're saying they're going to do with the Lawrence and so forth, the roots that I gave the DEA in 2016. They're telling you what I gave them, but don't believe them. You know what they're going to do? Give you a couple of street guys, a couple of Puerto Ricans in Lawrence. No shit. That's what they do. Set them up, put them in jail, and you don't get the big one. Hey, listen, when I caught the cartel flying Pence in, they gave us a drug trafficker. We only had a cartel. So I'm a little afraid of that methodology still. Okay, so we've got Ayotte looking for the cartel. Who blocked them? Okay, it gets better. Ready? Hit Ayotte again. Guess what else she's in charge of? Did she assigned? Oh, this. Now this is Ayotte announcing the people in charge of the DOGE coming in, supervising the audits. Well, who did they get? Andy Cruz. And you ready? And ex-Governor Benson. Both of the cartel. Are you insane? How about this? Ready? Andy Cruz, remember auto fare and the lawsuits and Hope Treatment Centers? They were all in the Pandora Papers and they had to sell them and they moved Cruz into the lottery to launder. What did Sanborn, the state senator, worked for the cartel for 30 years? His wife worked with Sanborn in the lottery. It's money laundering. The cartel put their boy Cruz in the lottery, and you know what he does? He appoints or assigns the licensing for the casino for the cartel. So we've got the cartel overseeing the audit, and if you check this, the state, and you state the treatment centers, and you find out that you lost billions in Medicaid fraud, which at the end here brought attention to Elon Musk. And what I've been telling you for 15 years, you're paying the bills. That's why they're into the treatments. So Cruz from the lottery, from auto fare, second-ranking member of the cartel, they're looking for themselves. Uh-oh, Benson. Maybe you remember, what is number, Governor Benson. Do you remember Planet Fitness? Benson took over for Planet Fitness when I caught the guy in the shower. Benson is partners with Anagos and my witness, Mike Grindell, okay? He was the original owner and was taken over by the cartel. And at one point was willing to testify. Let's see, somebody must have knocked on his door, but that's fine. When you think about this now, you ready? Benson at Planet Fitness, governor of New Hampshire. Anagos owns Planet Fitness. This is the cartel. And our boy Ariel, he'll back me up on this. What is that? Planet Fitness money laundering. Yeah, and drug distribution across the country, only $10. For how many years? Okay, Crash, are you getting it? That's how. And he's saying it. Now, who told Ariel? You don't pick on a multi-billion-dollar corporation unless you're Mike Gill or you know something about Ariel knows something about Mike Rendell.
Yeah.
He
Now,
knows.
so Ayotte hired these criminals
The
to,
cartel heads
yeah, I mean,
to audit everything that they've been stealing from the hospital, education, treatment centers. We're auditing ourselves. And listen, the methodology, the FBI, who are they looking for? The FBI, right? The DOJ.
yeah, I mean, that's all it's ever been.
Exactly.
It's got to stop.
But here's the thing. That's the last line of defense. We get through these squirrels, we're in. We're in. That's the last line of defense. You start auditing these people, like I said, one path. Hey, listen, Biden, you got $1 billion here. Where'd you get it? Hey, did you see anybody audit Hunter? When Hunter was
No.
using foreign governments and all, didn't even file, right? He didn't get in trouble for not auditing.
I'd like to see them audit Planet Fitness.
Right. How about this? President Trump, Elon Musk, right? You can't find Planet fucking Fitness. I mean, come on. And Ayotte, the AG, right?
Yeah.
Sununu's buddy, right? We put the cartel to look for the cartel and the cartel's money. It's beautiful. I mean, what's the chances of them finding Anagos, the boss? Again, I should be teaching preschool. That's how fucking easy this is. Audit themselves. But there's where we are. And but this is a portal. This is every state. This is our country. If they moved $1 trillion into New Hampshire, how many of those trillions were your money that they put on top of? Listen, foreign governments and cartels moved their money to the United States, put it in New Hampshire, because it was already built. You know who they built it for? The Clintons, the Bushes, crime families of this country. That's who each one of them represents, including the military. The military's coming to save us. Really? Well, listen, the military and our equipment is going to the Ukraine. The Ukraine, half the shit is selling it to the Mexican cartel. What we may have to deal with, getting shot at with our own sophisticated weapons. I mean, this is worse than leaving the equipment in Afghanistan. This is worse. These guys are on our borders. These people are in our country.
And you've been saying this, and now we're seeing it happen. Like they're exposing it. It's kind of,
I've been doing it 19 years. Remember I told you all those, even before I go, what counts for being right all those times? This is what happened. I told you what's going to happen. I told Trump was going to happen, and it happened. I told you who Barr was. I told you who Durham was. I told you General Flynn.
Yeah.
All right, next. What are we getting? Now, we just had Ariel point out about Planet Fitness. He also says Mike Gill mortifies. Michael Flynn is mortified of Mike Gill. Why? All right, you can take it down. I'll tell you why. Because he asked me for the settlement. He was December 18th, insurrection. And what are we even still now saying? If Trump would have signed that insurrection lawsuit, that he could have been tried for treason. He would have never been in a position to be president. That is Powell and Flynn. At the same day, they're in communications with me.
And now, I don't know if you saw it. I just want to interject real quick. Somebody sent me a thing from Lynn Wood, timing. And Lynn said, Flynn and Sidney Powell, they wanted Trump to sign that Insurrection Act. And he's pointing that out now as a current post. So I don't have it, but that was on television.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And think about it. Hey, Lynn, did you forget to tell everybody they were at your fucking house?
Yeah, they were in his house.
He went there. And when they went there, first of all, when they went to your house, you didn't tell anybody. Right. When they went to set up the president on December 18th, you didn't tell anybody. You didn't tell anybody at all. And then on December 18th, through those 18 days of dealing with the Flynn team and all those people and giving them evidence, each and every time I'm counting out, and you see it in text message, tell the people. You got to turn around. Tell the president. Nothing's being done. As we're going to January 6th, then if you get this Mike Grindell, who I'm in communications with, the owner of Planet Fitness previously, I was sending him all that evidence and communications, and he'll testify in the communications that I said that Flynn, I believe, was planning a armed insurrection and using his brother Charles in the communications that I had with all those people of Flynn, and they were avoiding all those issues, and it was the delay, and you can read it yourself, and the emails about this, and his phone communications. So what did I do? I told everybody. And as I'm telling everybody and going to the feds and putting it out there, I go to the podcast world, and you know what we find? Flynn.
Flynn, yeah.
I mean, holy shit. You want to talk about cursed? I'm in horse racing. I find them fixing races, money laundering. I'm in banking. They're all fucking stealing. And then I go, okay, we're in the podcast world. Let's go out and tell people what's happening. And I'm meeting a whole Flynn network, all CIA. And they all kiss me directly on the buttocks. I'm a hero. Right. Go through them all. Right. You saw Nino when we put up the post on doing Nino show.
Yeah.
I think, did we use that one already?
In one of our videos we have.
I think it was on for this one. It was one of the images that I gave you. But let me explain it to you. I was on Nino's show. Juan popped on. You know what was the subject? Of suing the IRS and the Treasury and giving away any money that I would get. But targeting the IRS and the Treasury. That's what shot them down. That's the Flynn network. They knew the way in. And as soon as I put that on Nino's show, that's when I went to the shutdown because we were right. And where is Trump now? He's auditing the IRS and the Treasury. I mean, now, come on. And I posted that, and you can Google that. So we were dead on it. Enough for them to stop. That was the point. They had to flip me.
That's when Juan flipped on you.
Yes.
Denied, yeah.
Well, what they did was, see, it was one thing with the Flynn. And then when they came back, because at this point, they couldn't leave me behind.
Yeah.
And look at this. What we're seeing now, I don't know. I have a theory. Everything I'm telling you right here and now is evidence and proof. In fact, so indisputable, including the communications with Flynn, everything. Now, there seems to be two fractions out there. You get a fraction that's clearly pointed to going after Flynn. And then I'm thinking, is there another fraction of the Flintsters going after the DOJ? Is this the Department of Justice had the plan, the insurrection plan, setting up President Trump? That's Flynn. He was the orchestrator, which is kind of what he does, right? MK Ultra, right? General, right? See, they don't even use wrong pieces. They use the right piece, and you go, I wonder what he's doing.
Yeah.
He was the National Security Advisor, caught the CIA, MK Ultra. Maybe him messing with your head. So you see, all those people now are in place. Flynn's got to go with some of these people. Inside the Matrix, Ariel, all these guys. Death to Flynn. Really? First of all, it was one network. Then we got contagion. But is there a DOJ plan now? Is to back up? They're not going using Jack Smith anymore. What about these guys? Dangerous. These guys are worried about that too. Listen, you hired a bunch of criminals, rappers and strippers. I mean, not the fabric of society, so to speak. But CIA would hire, remember? They hire pathological liars. Just so happens they found them. Now what I'm thinking is, a Flynn fighting back. Are they threatening to stay in the game? Is that why Bannon's going after Musk? And Bannon just gets released with a pat on the fanny after pleading guilty.
Right.
And the partner in the wall, which they did scam you, he's in jail and he's in a wheelchair. But movement, right? And then I see what's going on with Musk. And then Raikkonen we brought up. which would be an extension of Flynn. So is there a partnership here? President Trump and Elon Musk. And if he's listening and they're talking, they have to understand the contagion of Flynn. Now, the DOJ, if Flynn's not gone, then there's a DOJ acceptance here. And I'm scared because our players now are Flynn and Sununu and Ayotte. They just gave get out of jail free cards. I don't like it. Is Patel a get out of jail free card? Could you have that Patel picture, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a very disturbing picture. And it sends a question. I mean, one, has Raiklen bitten anybody lately? And what do we have? The director of the FBI? Very likely. And the what? Master of disaster? Oh, I know. What was it? The what do you call it?
Him? The deep state marauder?
Raiklen. What's Raiklen's self-titled? Minister
sure, it says
of Retribution?
The deep state marauder.
Oh, Minister of Retribution. I guess he's got a couple.
Okay, the Minister of Retribution, yeah.
Right. But anyhow, no one's questioning his relationship to Flynn and the fact that he was good with President Trump being dead, him and Alex Jones. So now we got Patel, and we just danced on the methodology of Sununu looking for Sununu and Ayotte looking for Ayotte, all with the partnership of the cartel and the audits. Are we doing that again?
I hope not.
Well, you know something? As many moves as we see is good. We're saying, hey, they're auditing this. They're auditing. Listen, nobody's gone to jail. And if Patel is complicit working with Flynn, who's working with the DOJ, then we're screwed. If Sununu and these audits and they let the cartel manage all the audits, we're screwed again. And we've been set up and everything is lip service. Remember now, it's actions. How long are you going to wait? I'm waiting. Sealed indictments. You waited. The military, you waited. How many times? You're in a state of being paralyzed. They should have froze you. Here's this. And this is business. And this is the hope of Musk. And listen, he's too smart not to see this. There's many people who didn't see it. He sees it. So I also think that's part of Vance. If something happens to Trump, I think Vance becoming the president was the protection for Musk. Because what Musk is doing, these people would assassinate him too and take him out and take his business. And if you think they wouldn't do it, they did it to Trump. And before this, I've seen the methodology. I keep thinking this cat hangs from trees. The methodology of it.
I have a cat that's needy. Here he is. There. Oh my gosh.
Oh, great. A black cat. That's just what we needed.
Hey, he's good luck. He's good luck. That's
all right. So you let me know when we get some, all right? But see now so we're watching. Remember what I said in the beginning. I said, I'm going to tell you where it is. And this is a strategy. And I think this is why they don't want you to hear the tape. The tape would get in Sununu again. Why are we protecting Sununu? Is the Bush family this close? Are they not going to open that door? And lastly, at this point, I am 100% certain that the magnitude of the fraud in the federal government, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicaid expanded, welfare, disability, exceeds the combined sum of every private scam you've ever heard of by far. Well, I don't know. Elon, I got trillions. Pandora Papers brought trillions, but I agree with you. It is. What did I tell you with the cartels? You know who's paying the cartels? You are. That's Medicaid fraud, right? That's who pays it. You know where your family court, people say, hey, it's corrupt, it's corrupt. You're damn right it's corrupt. It's Title IV money. The feds pay you. Money comes out of Social Security, out of your ass, matching funds for the payments of your children. That's why it's profitable to take them. They pay the judge, they pay the sheriff, they pay your lawyer, they pay your bailiff. It's a machine, and you're being drained. Hey, the economy's great. We're doing good. We're doing good. Then why are we going broke every single month if it isn't stealing? Is it they giving you too many benefits? Right? I'm down to $1,143 on Social Security. Thanks a million. You see, the IRS attached me. They know who I am and they know where I've been and what I'm on them and the potential. We are down to the players.
And
Yeah.
we're waiting on Kash yet. I guess Monday, maybe we'll see what's going on with him.
And here's my thought. Kash Patel, if you're not corrupt, my first target would be General Flynn. I get a little nervous when you said you didn't know Stu Peters and was on the show 8 times. And if you don't go for Flynn, then you're working for the feds. And you've just protected their assets. And Flynn opens this social media empire with the CIA and nobody goes home. You just go broke. And they're selling us on more bullshit. Listen, nobody helped Trump more than I did. When you see all those signs, I put my money where my mouth was. I put all those signs on my buildings. I lost half my business by supporting Trump alone and made it political. Business people don't do that. I did. And the same signs I put the cartel faces on. Business people don't do that either. But you have them. And we're in place. And make sure they just don't give you a crumb when they're hiding the loaf. Remember when I had the cartel, pants flying in? I had the cartel. What'd they give us? A trafficker. Sununu got a pass. The cartel got a pass. And this smells like a Sununu cartel pass. This is the laundering network of the deep state. You're going to fire a few people? Great. Lower your costs? Great. They're going broke. They were going to have to do that anyway. They can't pay them.
Right. Yeah, they can't pay him.
They can't pay them. You got to go. So we might as well let the ones go that ain't doing anything. But what happens? Here's a prediction. Ready? You see all these people getting fired? You're going to have a couple whistleblowers go, hey, I only got a job because I saw this and I saw that. All those moles in my office that work for the company, they all got state jobs. Right. Remember the deposition I was in with I go, where do you work for now? Oh, I work for the state. Of course you do. And
well,
that's
I
how
hope
you
that we get some whistleblowers. That would be a good thing.
Well, here's the thing. It is a great thing. As long as the whistleblower's got some place to go to. Listen, there's a million whistleblowers out there. There's no place to go. And when they do, they get targeted and identified.
And allegedly, Kash has that fund set up to protect whistleblowers. Remember?
Right. And Flynn's looking for lost children.
Children, yeah.
Jesus, that's an eerie thought.
So let's see Kash help some whistleblowers. That's what
Right. Hey, you know what? I'm a whistleblower. We can work together and feed Kash Patel. And I'm sure he knows who he is. He could always ask Flynn. I can show him the text messages. I can tell him what was in that meeting. He can turn around as the director of FBI and speak to everyone in that room. Have them under oath, including myself.
Right.
All of it. Have every one of them. So, again, it's about results. If we don't get results, then I call them out. Because we're here and it's potential. Don't let them fake you out. That's what I'm afraid of. This Patel, don't tell if Flynn takes a walk, then again, that entity going after Flynn, is that the DOJ? Is that CIA breaking from Flynn's people? We'll get to see. Why'd they want me involved?
Yeah, they
Hey,
did.
you don't like Flynn. You want to take Flynn out? Yeah, I don't like any of you, though. I want you all. You all suck. What am I going to? Oh, the DOJ and the CIA? I'll work for your asses. Listen, it's exposing them. Your government is what corrupt. The DOJ controls the court. You get your courts back. You get all of a sudden all the stealing in the government. You don't know what we're looking at. We may have free health care. And that's no exaggeration. I mean, we're the wealthiest country in the world, but we're now the broke.
Most broke, yeah.
Find that money. And then also cut down the fat. No more play for pays. And that's how it happens with these judges. They become a judge on a state, and then all of a sudden, the Superior Court, the Supreme Court, they move them up the ladder. Lifetimes of retirement. They keep getting paid. That's what they steal and rob for. That's the incentive. All right, correct.
All right. Well, we're going to see what happens.
But that's what we're doing. We're watching. Patel, Ayotte, Sununu, audits. Let's see where they go. If they're saying that IRS, do it. Saying something and doing it is two different things.
Right.
Do it. You know what I used to do? I used to do it, then tell you about it. I didn't tell them I was going to the DEA. And I did a video and showed you. I told you afterward. There you go. I went to the DEA. We don't have to talk about it. Department of Justice. None of these guys have been eyeball to eyeball with any of these players. James O'Keefe came to see me and dropped off that errand day. Flynn came to see me. Elon came to see me. Why? When I went into podcast world, I went on all these podcasts. They all told you who I was. I didn't know them. They seemed all a little bit nuts. I mean, the first time I was on Kerry Cassidy, she was trying to convince me Juan was JFK Jr. I started laughing, thinking it was a joke. But that's the CIA. You know what's not funny? Some of you believed it. That's what's dangerous.
Yeah.
And when you think the weapon was MK Ultra and mind control, and this is what they see, this is the other thing why Flynn's got to go. All these CIA, and maybe if you're in the meeting, you would have heard Shelby Bush say 98%, and she got that in Washington. You can't leave these criminals attacking the minds of patriots. Remember, Trump's the commander in chief. He opened the borders to teach us all a lesson. I mean, how does that play now, right?
Yeah, that's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Right. They got to take this government, President Trump, these people that they defrauded and robbed and lied to, supported you staunchly in the 90% of the cases. They were your people they were robbing in your name. In your name. Do you think did President Trump get any money from Flynn and the bus tour, in the movies?
No, not at all.
These podcasters, where did they get paid? I mean, you know what? They're selling, coins and General Flynn. Listen, it was bullshit. The Weight Watchers and the health care. And what are we connecting them to? Even Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't leave much out, boys and girls. Why do you think I could go missing? Why do you think there's times where I had it just, they saw it that way. They made it that way. They didn't want you to hear this. So me and Crash will talk about it. We are definitely in, what do you call it, a tunnel or a echo chamber?
Echo chamber, yeah. We're isolated with it.
Which is why it's up to you to help us. The few people that do see this, and how many of you ever think that do see it, the bad guys see it a lot. And this means something. And maybe this can also be part of an investigation. I will be. But it's important you help us to get this out. And I'm going to say this, and I didn't want to say this, but I could use a little help too. I don't like asking for money, and Crash knows I'll wait to the last minute, but I could use a little help, and not a lot. All I need is a few $100 to get past it a month. I mean,
a little bit of food.
Right. I mean, I'm just trying to show. I'm not living the life of Riley, and I was okay with losing my money, and I would have been helped. I needed a guy like me out there to help me with this. Just to even if we could turn around and had someone to really help us that would be able to put us money on numbers to be able to get more of a coverage to get it out there. We need a breakout, just one breakout. It is.
And the problem is, who do you trust, right?
Horribly. And you know what? They send people. So
Yeah.
but listen, I'm more encouraged now than in 19 years. I understand and see things in 19. I'm not talking out of school that somebody who wasn't doing exactly this. And if you go on my videos and stop playing those old ones and go back to 10, 11, now you tell me if I was wrong. And if you didn't see what I was warning then, isn't what we had now.
Right.
When closing, what did I say in Gardner about the election fraud? Somebody give you a job, and remember what they said? Oh, is that the attitude you're gonna have as governor? I said, it's the attitude you need to get you shitheads out of here. Exactly
Right.
where we are now.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Crash.
All right. Bye.